During the 1970s, local professional teams boasted an unforgettable cast of characters. How about Joe Namath and John Riggins for sort of the Jets, Walt Clyde Frazier of the Knicks, and of course, Reggie Jackson with you-know-who. Yeah, but from high school to track and field, high school basketball teams had some of the top talent in the country. It was on display right here in Kings County. And right back here with me for this discussion about the 70s, I want to welcome back Doc Stanley of Sports in Depth, Blog Talk Radio. Welcome back, Doc.
New York Beacon this time, baby. Thanks. Awesome. Thanks. Yeah. Thanks, Mike.
And also A.B. Whitfield, former NFL player and co-founder of the Trey Whitfield School in East New York. Matter of fact, A.B. Whitfield set me straight. He's part of the Dallas Cowboys. Lost to the Giants, right? But we'll get to that discussion. Okay.
Sometimes it's down, sometimes it's up.
And you know what? You got to give some kudos to Jerry Reese, who's done a great job this year, not getting any ink on the positive side.
You know, also, before we get into this discussion, real quick, we were discussing the last time we were here about social injustice and athletes who were demonstrating and also fighting for rights. And we forgot to mention Arthur Ashe.
That's right.
The dignified, classy Arthur Ashe. Yeah, from Virginia.
And I'm lucky enough to have played against him in high school at Magawalk in Richmond. And I see Norcom, I was a Greyhound. And he was a star in high school, even a quiet superstar in high school. The tragedy is that as a local player, couldn't play on the city parks. That's a tragedy.
Close friend of Larry Hardesty's, too.
Hey, you know what? Let's talk about the 70s a little bit more also.
Okay.
You know what? During the 70s, I remember, one thing I remember about these athletes, and we were discussing this off camera, that they were the most laid-back athletes, especially even during the lineup. You know, Clyde Frazier would come out, he would just stand there. This one was standing there. Nobody was high-fiving like Magic Johnson, and, you know, these guys go crazy. You think they scored a touchdown or scored a basket before the game.
Cool, class, and dignity.
Well, Michael, one of the main reasons is because we were poor. You know what I mean? I bought a car for $4,000 cash.
Big money.
And so the focus was on money, it was on playing. Guys had that internal pride of playing and winning. And then winning hard, playing hard against each other, but then shaking hands afterwards. These guys make so much money, they're all business guys. So the focus is not on playing all the time, it's about counting my dollars in stocks and see where I am, you know, and how many millions did I win or lose. You know?
And also, you had characters like Joe Namath. You had John Riggins, who also were a Mohawk and lived in a village at that time, right? Back in the early 70s, right? Played for the Jets.
There's so many characters, you know. It produced a great Julius Erving, Dr. J. You know, you had so many personalities. You know, a special time. I think that was a time where, you know, brothers were close, you know what I mean, and what's intrusion. Every brother was a brother then, and everybody was
and everything was sort of light and breezy and easy.
Well, it was a spill over the 60s.
It was fun. You had fun playing, and you're excited about playing.
You love the
game. Love for the love of the game. That was the focus right there.
Right. I want to talk about what's happened here in Brooklyn also during the 70s. A lot of talent came out here. In boxing, you had Eddie Mustafa Muhammad. He went on to be
light heavyweight champion of the world.
He beat Vito Antuofermo, I think, in the Golden Gloves in the finals back in the early 70s.
Sure did.
You also had Willie Randolph. He went to Tilden High School.
Tilden High School, became the first black captain of the Yankees, okay? First black captain of the Yankees, first black manager for the Mets. Never made an error in postseason play.
Yeah. Also, in basketball, you had King. Yeah, Albert King. Bernard King.
Albert
you had
King.
World Be Free.
Macmillan from Boys High, the late Macmillan, sweet player, shoot that shot. I mean,
Free out of Boys High.
Oh God, yeah. He had a ton of talent.
Great players.
What was it about Brooklyn during that time, also the 70s?
Well, again, guys were close-knit. In every borough, guys competed, and they loved each other. They loved competing. And so the young kids who watched them saw that kind of competitive spirit. I mean, guys came out of town to play guys in Brooklyn. Because this is the mecca of basketball.
And the spillover from the 70s. We are family. That's what we were in the 60s and 70s. We were family. I mean, that was the big thing about the ABA. They were family. Julius was a nucleus, but they were family. And we had Ali.
Right. And you also had Greg Jocko Jackson.
That's it.
Go ahead, Jocko.
That's right. The late, great Greg, a humble individual who spent a lot of his last years serving children.
Service to others when you pay room. Mike, you know, the 70s too at the New York Society, they're having a George Kalinsky and Leroy Neiman Ali exhibition from the December to May. I want to thank Don Thomas, who got me over there, along as the late Walter Smith, his wife, Miata Smith, New York Beacon. I want to thank too Miss Kirsten, Miss Mura, Miss Jackson and Miss Ashe, and also Tyra from Leroy's exhibition. Great exhibition about Ali. You know, Kalinsky got his start, as so many people did, going down there, taking a picture of Ali, took it to John Condon. Leroy Neiman always said Ali was a subject with subjects. It's a great exhibition, but more importantly, some of the things that were said there. Ali made the point that, you know, Islam, not black Muslims, was the name of the affiliation. Two, Malcolm talked about people always persecuted Ali because of religion. And Ali said, had going into the military meant the freedom of 22 million African Americans, they wouldn't have to draft me. I would have went.
You know, also, we want to talk a little bit about, as far, especially in the 70s, that was probably the biggest event of all time, especially for the Garden, right? The Ali Frazier fight,
without question.
The first one.
Without question. Without question.
Fight of the century.
Greatest fight of all
also
time.
The Yankees won 2 championships, I think 77, 78.
Reginald Martinez Jackson.
And also the Knicks won the championship. And we've been searching for a championship
Well, remember,
ever since.
it's 69-70. The Knicks won, the Mets won, and the Jets won. All 3 New York teams won a world championship.
You know, speaking of Dr. J, I got some pictures of you and the good doctor, right? Let's look at this. What was this?
That's the year that they won the championship, 73-74. Behind me is Sid Gatlin Jr.
ABA, right?
ABA, Sid Gatlin for the John Sterling Show. And most exciting player I ever saw. Greatest player I ever saw, pound for pound.
And Doc was taller, but see, you know, Julius was standing on the stool.
Well, yeah, I told you. Well, the truth is the truth. And you're going to bring out Pelé, who
look at this,
I got a chance to meet Pelé.
Right.
When he had just came over for the Cosmos, bringing real football to America. That's the only other athlete in the history of our society or the world that you could mention in the same breath with Ali. If you said Pelé, you knew who you're talking about. You said 2 guys who unified. Yeah,
and when he said he came over in 74, right?
73, 74 by the time.
And also that year was a particular. It was almost like a groundbreaking year because Ali won the title, Pelé was here, and Arthur Ashe won Wimbledon, right? And that was groundbreaking.
Beat Jimmy Connors.
Yeah, right.
First African American to win. Male Wimbledon, yeah.
All right.
Eddie Mustafa Muhammad, light heavyweight champion of the world out of Brownsville. Dr. Marvin Campbell in the middle. Eddie went down and fought Marvis Johnson, went there to his hometown, beat him, became one of the great light
And the
heavyweights.
light heavyweights were really competitive because you had Bob Foster.
Go ahead.
You had John Conti.
Michael Spinks.
White
Dwight Quali. You had some bad dudes, and you also had Jorge.
His brothers, because, you know, both guys fought.
Well, Jorge Ahumada was another guy.
Okay, this is the player's ball right here. Take a look at this one.
That was just, you know, all by the grace of God. Clyde
Johnson,
and Beverly Johnson.
Doc, Earl Monroe.
Earl the Pearl Monroe.
Earl the Pearl.
What was that night like, Doc? Do you remember that night?
Hey, vaguely.
You weren't there, right?
No, it was just a press fair, and, you know, part of what you said, the 70s, family. You could reach a Earl. You could talk to a Clyde. They weren't above you. You know what I mean? You understood that.
And Earl surrendered his game.
Oh, man. Like Doc did in Philly.
To be a consummate team player. Don't change what you do. I'll come off the bench even. That's the mentality these guys had now. You don't have that now.
Yeah,
a guy will suck now, you got to trade him because he's going to suck on the bench. And I want to play. But Earl sacrificed his style and game.
And as a person, too. As a person, Brian Taylor said, a pearl of a player, but more importantly, a pearl of a person.
He's a wonderful guy.
Oh, great guy.
And he came up from the Washington Bullets.
Yes, right. That's right.
Beverly Johnson. All right.
And Earl, by the way, has helped us raise tons of money for school.
Quiet dignity, right?
I can't say enough about him.
Yeah. Can't say enough about you. I'm Mike, too. This is the back page. I got the last
What's this,
interview.
Doc?
That's me and Muhammad Ali, the last interview he gave before he fought Joe Frazier the second time, coming out the hotel, back page of New York Daily News, and he signed a picture for my beloved sister, Teresa. I mean, he always had time for you, man.
And most athletes today don't have that type of
Ali had time for pictures, everything.
Now, this is what, after the ABA championship?
This is when the Nets won their first ABA championship, you know, and they threw us all in the shower. Julius, there's Rod Thorne, who was assistant coach, Sid Gatling, and myself. It's just Dr. Marvin Levy, who was with also the Giants. It just, you know, God bless a special time. You know, it was
Tell Doc, we're off to the 70s now. Take those pictures, they're invaluable. Restore those pictures, and you're going to have something even better, because those are keepsakes there.
Oh, yeah.
You need to just restore them. Those are invaluable.
Yeah, and thanks so much, Mike, for having us here and using my stuff, man. You know, you can keepsake too, man.
Doc, you have a museum.
We got tons of stuff for you, Mike. Bring us back all the time. We got tons of stuff.
Oh, okay.
We've been privileged to be with guys who is congenial and humble as anybody if you ever want to be. And we're lucky to live in an era like that.
Jim Brown,
Really
good name.
Jim Brown, I can't tell you.
When you look at what was one special thing that you'll take from the 70s?
I think we had role models who were athletes, but they were men. You know, to know and meet Jim Brown, to know and be in school with Earl Monroe, that whole group of. By the way, on the Jets Super Bowl team, 1969, 4 guys from the CIAA was on that championship team.
Okay.
4 guys. Earl Christie from Delaware State. You had Emerson Boozer was the running back.
Yeah, Emerson.
The great Johnny Sample. They're all on that team.
Gentlemen, we're out of time. But gotta have you back, Doc. Doc,
You know what?
Doc, we gotta go.
Gotta go.
Gotta hold that thought. I'm sorry, Doc.
Don't worry about it.
Time
We can go on.
Time won't give me time. All right.